Good morning, everybody. Today is October 1st, 2020. I think it is a Thursday. Gonna lose track of time and day, which is, I think, kind of a good thing. I've said goodbye to my friends here in Whitefish, Montana. Great people. Ben and Macy, thank you very much for letting me hang out with you for the last couple of days. And Ben, thank you for guiding me on yesterday's hike and glacier. It was spectacular. Really appreciate that. So now I'm moving on to my next destination, which is North Dakota. I don't know if it's going to take me a day or two to get there. I have to drive completely across Montana, and I don't really know if I'm going to try to pull that off in a day or not. We'll see. The weather's nice, beautiful day, another beautiful day. And I'm sad to leave northern Montana here. It is beautiful country, and people are super friendly and nice, and the food's good, and I can't really say enough about northern Montana. I'm sure they'd like to keep it a secret, so I'll leave it at that. Behind me is an interesting piece of history. I'm actually at the Whitefish train station, and behind me is what they call a bruck. And what happened with it was this is the closest train station or train depot to Kalispell, Montana, which is about, I think it's like 15 to 20 miles south of here. So everybody from that town had to ride the bus, which is also set up, it's called a bruck, so it's set up to haul mail and luggage and supplies, and then passengers in the front. But anyway, that's how they got back and forth to the train station from Kalispell. It's an interesting piece of history. But it's a cool looking train depot, and it's passenger as well as freight. And as you can see down there, great town. This is downtown right behind me. It's really small, compact, but beautiful area, and you should definitely check it out if you happen to be in the neighborhood. So now I'm going to get back on the road, and let's see what the rest of Montana looks like. In 1889, this gentleman right here, John F. Stevens, who's apparently enormous, surveyed this area, and then by 1889, he surveyed this area, and by 1893, they were actually already running trains over this pass. It's the lowest pass over the Continental Divide, at least in this area, at 5,216 feet. But the Theodore Roosevelt International Highway, it's an international highway, extends from Portland, Maine to Portland, Oregon. I don't know if it's coincidence that they're both named Portland, but it goes through Canada, it goes through Ontario. And this is the Continental Divide, which it's kind of bittersweet because now I'm going to be on the east side of the Continental Divide for an unknown amount of time. It's been a long time since I've been on the east side of the Continental Divide, other than hiking around here in Glacier National Park. But yeah, it's kind of a new section of my journey, a new section of the United States, and this is, I guess the official, unofficial beginning of it. But yeah, looking forward to the rest of my journey, and looks like it's basically all downhill from here. Bison. Herd of bison. Right outside of... This is the Blackfoot Nation. I just went through a town called Browning, Montana, which is at the east entrance to Glacier, basically, and it's part of the Blackfoot Nation, and it was buttoned up tight. There was a grocery store that was open for, I guess, the Blackfoot Nation itself, but even there on the road, it said if you went in there, you had to wear gloves and a mask. So they're serious here about the Blackfoot Nation and keeping everybody safe, which I certainly understand and admire. And they can do it. They're a sovereign nation, and this is their land, and more power to them. But that's it for Glacier National Park and the bison herd. I thought I'd pull over and show that to you. That's pretty cool. So we're going to continue on. I'm on Highway 2 in North Central Montana, and as you can see on the horizon, there's really not anything. There's no trees, and the best I can tell, the only trees that are around are what people have planted to maybe shade their homes or some sort of structure, but this is the plains. I mean, there's nothing here. It looks like wheat. Definitely agriculture, but I have seen quite a few signs about wheat and really not any other type of agricultural product, and very little livestock, few cows, horses, not a lot, nothing going on in the north. Over here on the south is those are called the Bear Paw Mountains. Which is quite a few miles from Bear's Ears. Must be a big bear. So according to my map on Gaia, this is BLM land. And not much out there. So I just kind of followed a faint track across this BLM land. You know, nothing's touching my muffler. And checked underneath and make sure that I'm not trying to start a fire out here, because that would suck tremendously. And I'm looking pretty good, but I'll keep an eye on that for sure. Got my fire extinguisher and a bunch of water, but I think I'm going to camp here tonight. I don't know why I couldn't. It is BLM land, and I think it's another 4-hour drive to Watford City, North Dakota tomorrow, which is kind of the trailhead for the May Day Hay Trail. So yeah, I'm gonna call it a night right here, and it should be outrageous tonight. Clear, it's in the high 50s right now and looking good. Good morning, everyone. It is October 2nd, and today I am going to for sure make it to Watford City, which is the northernmost terminus of the May Day Hay Trail in North Dakota. Check it out. get the lay of the land, check the weather, maybe do some laundry, some resupply, and get ready for that adventure, which I'm really looking forward to. I left my campsite near Saco, Montana about 3 hours ago, and I've made it here. This is the Missouri River, and I am in a place called Culbertson, Montana, which is right near the border of North Dakota here in Northeast Montana. And this is the spot, apparently, where in April of 1805, Lewis and Clark departed for unknown, uncharted territory. This is kind of where nobody else had been before at this point, other than obviously the Native Americans. And Meriwether Lewis said this was the happiest day of his life because he was going into uncharted terrain. They spent apparently a good deal of time in Montana and had most of their tribulations in Montana. But apparently the wildlife here was super abundant. Grizzly bear, bison, elk, antelope, beaver. It was all here, but this is the Missouri River in northeast Culbertson, or northeast Montana, near Culbertson, and I'll be crossing into North Dakota here real soon today. It's cold. It's 45 degrees right now. Yeah. It rained a little bit on my way here today. Chilly day. Kind of breezy. But that's the Missouri River. Pretty. Roosevelt first came to the North Dakota Badlands to hunt bison in September 1883. During that first short trip, he got his bison and fell in love with the rugged lifestyle and the perfect freedom of the West. He invested $14,000 in the Maltese Cross Ranch, which was already being managed by Sylvain Ferris and Bill Merrifield, 7 miles south of Medora. That winter, Ferris and Merrifield built the Maltese Cross Cabin. After the death of both his wife and his mother on February 14, 1884, Roosevelt returned to his North Dakota ranch seeking solitude and time to heal. That summer he started his second ranch, the Elkhorn Ranch, 35 miles north of Medora, which he hired 2 Maine woodsmen, Bill Sewell and Wilmot Dew, to operate. Roosevelt took great interest in his ranches and in hunting in the West, detailing his experience in pieces published in Eastern newspapers and magazines. He wrote 3 major works on his life in the West: Ranch Life and the Hunting Trail, Hunting Trips of a Ranchman, and The Wilderness Hunter. His adventures in the strenuous life outdoors and the loss of his cattle in the starvation winter of 1886-87 were influential in his pursuit of conservation policies as President of the United States, which he was from 1901 to 1909. Following Roosevelt's death in 1919, the Little Missouri Badlands were explored to determine possible park sites. Civilian Conservation Corps camps were established in both of the future park units from 1934 to 1941, and they developed roads and other structures in use today. The area was designated the Roosevelt Recreation Demonstration Area in 1935. In 1946, it was transferred to the United States Fish and Wildlife Service as the Theodore Roosevelt National Wildlife Refuge. After a 5-year campaign by North Dakota Representative William Lemke, President Truman established the South Unit of the Theodore Roosevelt National Memorial Park on April 25, 1947, the only national memorial park ever established. The North Unit was added by Act of Congress in June 1948. In 1978, in addition to boundary adjustments and the establishment of 30,000 acres of the Theodore Roosevelt Wilderness, the park's designation was changed to Theodore Roosevelt National Park. Today is an absolutely beautiful day. It's in the mid-50s, slight breeze. It's supposed to get windier. It should be gust up to 30 for basically the next week. I talked to the park ranger here, and she said that that's normal. Not to have wind is not normal, but to have wind gusts and windy days is the norm here. But anyway, as you can see, it's absolutely beautiful here. Looking forward to spending a few days here. That concludes my journey through Montana. The next episode will begin my days in North Dakota and the Maida Hay Trail, which is an 8-day mountain bike ride across the Badlands. If you like what you see, please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.